Hello, everybody. I'm digging a hole. Well, specifically for a fireplace. This is gonna be one hell of a random stream, but I hope you guys are all doing okay. For anybody who might stop on in. Yeah, right now, it's only about a foot and a half, maybe a little bit less deep. I want to go a little bit further because I want to coat the outsides with some more rocks. Sorry about the wind if it's heard too strongly. Hey, Tiki, how you doing? Diggy diggy hole? Indeed, diggy diggy hole. Yeah. I think I'm close enough to a cell tower to get signal. So if things are choppy, I apologize. I hope not. Hello, Brandon Lugretti. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yeah, right now, only got a little bit further to go. I'm trying to also find rocks as I go. Problem is I keep hitting some thick shit. Yeah, the soil around here is really thick with a lot of mineral, so if I'm lucky, I might hit some kind of diamond. Alright, come on. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I've been looking for rocks like this all day because I'm trying to coat the outside nice and thick here with some more rocks. So. Yeah. Hello, James 9. Let it be fire. Maybe by the end of the stream. I want to dig it deeper. I also brought some water with me to coat. Make sure I also got to chip up these roots a little bit so we don't light those on fire because God forbid those cause trees to go up. We did get rain semi-recently, but still there's some safety procedures I'd like to follow before I even humor lighting too much of a fire. Right now, I'm digging the hole, looking for rocks as I go. That way I can continue to coat the outside. And it might be hard or easy to see, I'm not sure. But right here, there's actually like this gray soil. That is actually granite. So I'm already hitting some granite, which I didn't expect to be hitting today. Yeah, it would explain why the soil is so thick with rocks, though, that I keep finding. Like, I keep finding big old rocks, too. Like, baseball-sized or bigger. Which is good for the outlining I want to do for the fireplace, but it's still quirky to run into. Second, I'll lean over so I can see. Hey, Karn! Who are you going to bury? Nobody as of right now. Idea for the future is this promise to the millennials. Seems like you're taking digging for shut up. Granite. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Actually, what's funny is you guys missed it. I wish I had started streaming earlier. A couple turkeys came over here to investigate what I was doing. They're a bit ballsy this time of year. It's funny because we're getting, I think if we're not in turkey season, we're almost in turkey season, so they're getting pretty ballsy. Yeah. Yeah, all those clunks you hear is me hitting rock. Not even like small ones, but like big ones. By the way, sorry if I don't see the chat too readily, because I have to like lean in to see too closely. Dig those holes. What's funny is I thought about playing myself the theme song for Holes. Well, not the theme song, but for those of you who grew up with the movie Holes with Shia LaBeouf, I think the song might even just be called Holes, but it's the dig up holes, yeah. Digging up holes, yeah. That song has been kind of playing in my head for part of this dig. Yeah, I didn't even think I'd stream it out here, but I brought my tripod just in case. I know I want to bring my camera out here, and because this isn't my only project out in the woods right now. This is actually related to a project I'm doing over there, which I might show you partway through working on this stuff. But this is just like a little side area I have set up for a little camping I want to do. Over there, a project you guys can't see is I'm actually trying to build like a little gun range here in the forest. There's a nice little inclined hill and a decent dirt barrier that way. Plus it's angled down so no bullets are going to go flying through the forest where they shouldn't. So I'm building that, but that's like a personal side project. That's gonna take a while because I have to clear out quite a bit of foliage to make it a viable gun range. But right now, this is This is the project I'm working on today, anyway. Oh, Nathan's here. What do you say? I've had modded Skyrim encounters less weird than this. I'll come you out in the woods. Well, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to get away for a little bit, you know? Things have been a bit crazy. Getting out in the wild a little bit. Ooh, big rock. So, I kind of came out to clear my head, chill out. I think I hit a root. Come on. Are you a root? Nope, that's a big one. That's a big rock. Oh, no, that's the root. Oh, we got a root to a big tree right here. Oh, that's gonna be a bitch. Come on, I'm gonna grab my hatchet. I'll be right back. I also brought my saw over just in case I have to, I'll saw it. Woo. Yeah, that bitch is thick, goddamn. Nathan's ignoring my DMs. Nathan, how can you ignore that man's DMs? He's so likable. Tiki's the dude. Naughty Nathan. Respect it. Hope you're doing good, buddy. I'm doing all right. Yeah, this is how I've always tried to cope with stress. Is I keep myself busy, and work has been a way to do that, but it only goes so far. I think most people would understand. Come on. That is thick, goddamn. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and dig out around it a little bit. I think it goes all the way across too. Explain some of my difficulties, eh? Tiki is lying. I never ignore. Tiki, are you lying to me? Do I have to I'll ground you both if I have to. I feel like quoting Lord of the Rings when Saruman is speaking to the orcs. And one of the orcs is going, "The trees are strong, my lord. The roots go deep. Burn them all down." Recently, on the community Discord, Purist hosted a watch through of the movies. I missed out on that, I'm afraid, because I was busy doing other stuff. There's a game warden playing. Hard to tell though. Maybe. I couldn't see the tail end, so might be game wardens, might just be pass or flyer by. Another big one. Rock-rich soil. Look at Chad again real quick. Nathan X Tiki isn't as good as Nathan X Arctic. Well, Nathan's in a polycule, didn't you know? Nathan Dice on Espanol. Drone's fine now. Well, I can't hear any drones quite yet, but I'd be surprised to hear drones in this around this area. Planes is very common, but not drones. It's not a popular hobby around here yet. Well, my dad certainly likes it. But... There's another root right there. We're definitely rich in the root department. I think I have enough clear space. Let's try. I hate these flimsy saws. Oh man, it still digs all the way out here, doesn't it? Yeah, that root's got to be at least like that big, which normally isn't a problem, but it's the way it's oriented right in the middle of the hole. All right, let's see. Whew. 38 Croots, how you doing? Need to sharpen the hatchet, brother? Well, unfortunately, that is after a sharpening. I think I've already blunted in on a rock or something. Yeah, it's losing its edge. Well, I didn't bring my whetstone with me, so that's gonna be a problem. Come on. Doesn't have the granite falling around it. Ugh, stubborn root. I don't think I'm going to be able to saw it through the dirt here, but yeah, I'm already hitting rock. hatchet again. Stop hitting the ground. That needs sharpened. Turkeys are probably talking to each other. I think it's just bouncing right there. Let's see if I can get some granite out of the way. Times like these, I wish I had brought my trowel. Didn't think I'd need it today, though. Goes to show me my prior planning is definitely to work. Come on, we're almost there. That was part of it. Out of the way there. So, how's everybody doing today anyway? It's been a couple, well, part of it has. Hey, a little destruction. Wait, is that Lord Millman? I think so. May as well get your spoon out. Well, it's not that blunt. It's definitely better to use that hatchet than a spoon. Problem is, the roots of this hair are fucking deep. Apologies if the wind's really loud. Ain't nothing I can do about that currently. That's an awkward angle. Shit, damn it. It fell right in there. I'm gonna take a short break here.
Yo, brother, you must have lost weight recently.
Nah, I'm still fat. One could say this is part of me trying to lose weight again, is finding projects to do outside. Atlas, I don't think I see you that often. I know you're on the Legion Discord, though. Unga bunga. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of an unga bunga moment, but the root is thick. Trying to shave at it here, but definitely need to sharpen this. I wish I had a belt sander. Not for this, but for this. I have a whetstone, that's all I got. Problem is I can't see how far through the root I am. Because the dirt's not fucking. Wishful thinking. Purchase at all price. Kind of, at the very edge there. I'm edging it. It's such a bad angle. The squirrels are throwing acorns at me. You bastards! I'm busy. There we go. There we go. So I'm just taking a second. Alright, we got the root. That was a pain in the ass. Oh, fuck. Knocked one of my stones in there.
We are trying to nap. Well, then why are you watching the stream? Oh, I've been grinding FF14. Nice. Careful digging such a good, is that what this is? A good hole like that. Why?
That was really nice. Might be deer nearby. That or the turkeys sound weird this year. I don't got a hunting license anyway, so not my concern. And I'm sure they'll leave me alone. I don't think they want to tussle with me. It's all I knew it. Goddamn. Look at that. The size of my head. Well, my face anyway. See? Big old buddy. There's a rock in there. Well, there's numerous, but there's one that's still deep. Dwarf maxing. I already do that with the beard. And the beer, well, and the ale drinking anyway. That's a beer. I'm not far from Canada, which has a lot of Indians. Well, we have a lot of Indians here in Maine too. We have an old island called Indian Island, which is a Indian reservation. How are the new shoes holding up? I don't wear them too often. These aren't the ones you and Tang forced upon me. These are hiking shoes I've had. But the shoes that you guys did get me, those are doing all right. I only wear them on weekends, really. I don't wear them to work. But so because of that, they're holding up quite still new condition. It's still nice and circular. I know you want to go. I can sense that you want to be relieved of the dirt. Come to me, oh rock. How big is it? Or actually, it might be half wedged. Yeah. I've almost finished editing the audiobook chapter I want to release on the Warglaive channel. I'm still debating a couple of edits. Quite frankly, during the actual narration portion, there's not much I want to do for edits. Just a couple small things, but generally I think leaving the audio and letting the narration go without too much angling is the best way to go. But at the same time, it'll probably be ready either tonight or tomorrow. Worst case scenario. Hey Nico, how you doing? Doing a bonfire? Not a bonfire, but a campfire, yeah. Yeah, right next to my gun range I'm working on over there. Thing is, I went to my local hardware store recently, and they had brand new pickaxes in, stainless steel pickaxes. Well, not stainless steel, but reinforced steel. And I was like, how much are one of those? They went 45 bucks. 45 bucks, huh? I was so tempted to get one, but I didn't. Didn't think I'd need it, but I'm hitting so many rocks today. I'm regretting my decision. I'd say it's about a foot and a foot and a half plus a quarter. Good progress. I definitely want to snip some of these roots here. The smaller roots I can get with my knife, but it's these slightly thicker ones. It's not as easy as it looks. What? Yeah, most survival crafting games, the first thing you do is build a campfire. As easy as it looks. Well, no, I know that that's not as easy as it looks. This isn't my first campfire. This is one of many I have made over the years. And usually when I'm out hunting, I don't dig a hole. I just find a nice clean spot. I put some rocks down, make sure I remove as much foliage around the potential campfire as I can, and then I light one right on the dirt. But this is more of like an actual, like, I'll come back to this. You know, I'll clean it out. I'll put kindling in it. It'll be right next to, again, what I'm making as a makeshift gun range. So this is more of a permanent fixture. So that's why it's gonna take a while. But a surface level campfire is actually a lot easier to do. Digging a whole campfire like this, one that's more of a permanent fixture, or not permanent, but at the very least long lasting, or it should be, weather permitting. Yeah, something like this is way harder than it looks in a video game, but that's with most things in video games. The whole point of them is so you can experience things in a more simulated, optimistic, I'll say, fashion. Never say no to the new tools. Well, I only said no because of the price. I was like, I'm not gonna buy a pickaxe for $45 if I don't need one. I am now thinking I might have needed it. But we're making progress without it. But it's just, what is that? Is that rock? Is that something else? Maybe something else. Yeah, I think it's deep enough to at least do a test fire. Yeah, let me. My foot first of all. Let me get rid of this root here that I very much don't want to light on fire. God, this saw sucks. I got it for cheap, so I guess I got what I paid for, but still. There you go. Very mineral-rich environment. Lots of roots here. I'll get my knife. Trying to cheat, but add some twine. I can use that for a little bit of a easy light. Oh. There you go. Yeah. This is more for like skinning and stuff, but it'll work just fine on thin roots. So when you build the rainwater collector, well, I didn't bring my tarp with me, but technically I could. Although rainwater around here has been kind of sparse lately. We had, don't get me wrong, like the last 2 weeks we've had plenty of rain. It's just like overall over the last few months, we actually were in a definitive drought for a short while. I say short while, most of the summertime. We barely got any rain, which is weird. Yeah. My mom even joked that it's like when we had a downpour like a few days ago. Me and my family were joking. It's like, okay, the trees are just like, it must be slurping up that water like a straw. Like, Yeah, we'd been that sparse on it for a while. I'm not gonna get too picky about it. I just want to get the roots out of the way here. I think that'll be fine. Alright, so we have enough that I feel confident enough anyway. So I'm going to take some of the bigger rocks, I'm going to put them at the bottom here, just in case there's any roots I can't see through the dirt. You know, hopefully avoid lighting those on fire. Because, for those who don't know, if you are making a fire pit like this, like in the dirt, so it depends on like where and like how you're doing it. If you're doing one near your house where your tools and resources you can more readily bring to the pit, I would recommend, even to those who want to build one that's like a permanent fixture, once you've dug it to a sufficient depth, which is around 2 feet, once you've dug it to such a depth, you can actually coat the edges of it in either a clay, if you feel like that little project, or if not clay, you can actually use concrete. It's a bit of a delicate balance doing concrete, because obviously concrete will pool at the bottom and you're going to have to manually plaster it against the walls of it, but that'll protect any potential roots and things that from lighting on fire. Part of what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually spray the hole with water in the hopes of avoiding lighting anything that I can't see. Yeah, and which, by the way, I'd recommend, generally speaking, always bringing, there's drinking water, obviously, and then there's water like this, which is utility. I would always recommend bringing something like this to coat any area you're going to light a fire, especially if it's in the middle of woods. You got to be very careful. If you're in a very dry location, like a desert or California, for some reason, definitely coat the area in water. Be as safe as humanly possible, and don't get people killed. Wait, do you hear that? It's a mountain lion. Take care. We don't get those. Well, we do, but it's in Katahdin. I'm nowhere near Katahdin, thankfully. Yeah, Mount Katahdin is a ways away. If I'm going to be attacked by anything, it's either going to be a lynx, coyote, if they're feeling brave. No coyote is ever that brave unless they have rabies, though. Foxes, again, very rarely that brave without having rabies or some mental disorder. Outside of that, yeah, we got black bears. We can get grizzlies, but I think I'm fine. Nowhere near here, anyway. Let's see. Mountain lions towards Katahdin, but again, I'm nowhere near there. Lynx. I know I'm like ghosting on something right now. There's another series of predators. I mean, there's weasels, but again, they usually don't attack unless provoked. The number of predators I have to worry about are pretty limited in this area. Are you armed? For YouTube's purposes, maybe. Anyway. I never go anywhere in civilization without some kind of armament, let alone nature. But I can't verbalize that, I don't think. Alright, so I'm gonna coat right here. Yeah, so I like to do a little bit of a coat of water. It is spread out as much as possible. You don't need to like drown it. You just need to do enough moistness that it'll avoid, hopefully, lighting. Oh, no, that's a deer. Hi, darling. No, I can't see her. Where'd you go? I can't see her now. Good. I think I might have spooked her. There was I'm pretty sure it was a female, but yeah, saw a doe a second ago. That or it was a baby, but it looked a little too big to be a baby. There you go. I'm just gonna do nearby foliage. In hopes of avoiding a brush fire. It shouldn't happen, but you never know. That should be enough for what we're doing. Should be. Operative word. Next, I gotta find a couple more decent sized rocks to coat at the bottom there. Let's see. What dangerous wildlife is in your area? Ah, kind of answered that already, but dangerous wildlife, that's subjective a little bit. If you mean like substantially dangerous, black bears are pretty common around here. Usually, if you get smart with them and there's only one of them, you'll be fine. It's when there's like 2 or 3 that they get really fucking bold. Black bears, thankfully, are cowards most of the time, especially if they're on their own, and especially if they're younger. I found that the older black bears, especially ones that have been around humans and not been shot, tend to be, in all the wrong ways, very brave. So, it depends on age, but also experience. So outside the black bears, it's lynx and wildcats. We have a couple different kinds. Again, mountain lions are in Maine, but as far as I know, they're only in the Mount Katahdin area, because that's our only actual proper mountain. Everything else is different. I know I had more stones. Where did I put them? Hold on, I'll be right back. There. I might just work with the stones I put around the border there. I swear I had like a series of rocks somewhere that I was going to use. I know there's more up that way, but I don't want to grab those because that's more of a distance than I want to go. Okay, I guess we'll cheat a little bit. some of the bigger rocks I got up here. Don't need to fill every gap, just enough gaps. There we go. I should cover everything I can't see on the bottom. Okay. Yeah, so hemp string, your best friend when you want to make a fire. With many tools. Yeah, so with hemp string, you can easily pull it apart, untwine it, and bunch it. There we go. Can't tell if that deer I'm listening to is warning the others about my presence or calling for help. I don't think calling for help, it would be a lot more high pitched. But it's interesting. Oh, I think I knotted it in trying to pull it apart. Yeah, so if you bunch it up, it's not halfway bad. Yeah, because it kind of gets like the consistency of hair. Once you get it to that point, it can be pretty useful for lighting stuff on fire. Now, I don't have any matches. I do have Bic lighters, so I'm cheating a little bit today. So, that right there. It's not. I don't think that'll be enough to light anything on fire proper. But that's at least a little bit. This feels sufficiently dry enough, so try that with a little bit more of the stuff pulled apart. Yeah, but I almost never go out without hemp rope because it's multifaceted. You can use it to tie stuff up and it's very strong, but if you pull it apart, it's great for kindling. You can set small snares and traps with it. Generally speaking, it's very multi-purposed. I guess while I do this, I can sit there. Read chat while I work. Hey, Durpen, welcome to stream. What are you cooking, boss? Not cooking anything right now. Yeah. It's just, yeah, stuff's been kind of hectic lately. With the country and as much tension as it is. Don't get me wrong, I always knew we were in a very polarized nation. It's just, fuck it, I'll talk about it. Why not? Since Charlie Kirk's death, it's just been duck. That's a duck. Just been kind of strenuous. you know. And you know, I go on social media, and all I really do now is I just keep track of the latest BS I hear that frustrates the hell out of me. Yeah, it's what the hemp rope looks like when you pull it apart. It's like hair. So if you get a good spark on it, or you light it with a Bic lighter, it'll go right up. But I want a bit more than that. So you really want to bunch it up to the point where it'll actually catch. Yeah, when you get that consistency of hair. Yeah, so I will say, like, I keep thinking each day that, you know, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna be like, okay, Charlie's gone, things happened, but I can get back to a sense of normalcy. I can get back to a sense of, you know, things aren't that bad. I keep thinking, like, mentally I'm gonna reverse the clock back to before Charlie died in terms of how I see things, or not necessarily how I see things, but at least how I, like, feel on my day to day. But I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah, and it's even weirder is I didn't know the man. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be in this state, like both emotionally and logically. It's just, oh, like where do I get off? I guess being so affected by it, but I know other people feel as I do. It's not a matter of me feeling alone in how I feel. It's just, yeah, it's the big question of where do you go from there? How do you keep going as a society when that happened? I don't think it can. And it really isn't what Tyler Robinson did necessarily. It's the reaction of everyone else that's really stuck with me. And even after all the firings and all that, there's no apology. There's no, like, when those psychos went on camera on TikTok and stuff like that and said, "Oh my god, I can't believe I was fired." So many of them made sure to avoid any level of accountability or even humoring the concept of an apology. They seemed completely inhuman with, like, how they saw it. Like, it was me, 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 me. I'm such a victim. I'm so mistreated, and they don't seem to have any ounce of at all of, well, it's my fault. I did that. Like, oh, I fucked up. That's my fault. No, it's none of it. There's no self reflection. There's no sense of wrong. And I can't say it doesn't bother me. And I always knew that people of that political persuasion were crazy, but I don't know. Maybe I thought, like, deep down there was still something there that you could work with, that you could appeal to or come together with, but not so much anymore. No, don't want to get too sappy about it, but yeah. Hey, Havoc. The genie is out of the bottle. Yep. It's not wrong to be bothered by it. However, those are not the only sorts of people that exist in this world. Yeah, I know. It's just, I used to think that kind of person was like the exception. I don't think that anymore. Not when you take human population as a whole, but certainly when you take a group of humanity, it doesn't feel like the exception anymore. Like, if someone tells me they're a Democrat now, I no longer see it as like, oh, okay, you're stupid. You know, you have, or you're extremely gullible, or both. I no longer see it as that. I see it as, okay, you're dangerous actively, and you represent a threat to my family's safety, my safety, and you would want and celebrate my death. Like before Charlie Kirk and before his reaction to him, I could have gone to a hospital if let's say I was injured, and I wouldn't at all like have cared what the nurse or the doctor's political persuasion was. If they were a liberal, okay, so what? They're going to do their job. They're going to save my life. We might disagree on things unrelated to this current situation, but that doesn't matter, right? Not so much anymore on that particular persuasion. I don't know. It's stuck with me, and I've tried to shake it. I've tried to work through it. I've tried to just ignore it. I haven't done a very good job at that, admittedly. But what are you gonna do about it, right? That's just life. You're gonna run into or deal with people who are a little crazy and evil. Yeah, that's right. Very nice Indian over here. Best kind of kindling right here. Well, best starting kindling. Small little branches, especially if they're dry. Very, very good kindling. Actually, I definitely do have a flint striker right here. I guess it still works. Problem is, I don't have that elevated. Fuck you, fly. Yeah, it's been a while since I had to use the striker. I might cheat and get the Bic lighter, but I'm determined to get it with the spark. There we go. Oh, come on. Don't completely burn out on me. It's always the backup plan. All right, pick lighters. When in doubt, this is always a cheat option. Got a couple of friend of mine who used to say, let's try it this way. I don't want to completely smother it, but I do want to give it more fuel than that. One more string out. One second. Oh, someone left a big comment. There we go. Took a hot minute, but hopefully. Alright, so it's going a little bit. Gotta give it a second though. Alright, let me see if I can catch up with chat real quick while that starts. Also gonna set that there. Oh, don't go out on me. We're just gonna cheat this system again. Alright, while I separate this out. Catch up with chat a little bit here. West as a whole is crazy. I'm expecting things to get far worse before it gets better. Yeah,
Unfortunately, I have to agree with that. I think it's not necessarily something to be ignored. The same sorts of people cheered when John the Baptist was beheaded, yet Jesus pressed on with his mission, though he allowed himself to mourn. Well, that is true. You know, as a German, excuse me, as a German, I know a thing or two about starting a fire. I'm not sure if this is a World War II joke or if this is a different kind of thing. It's coming along well. Having dinner, nice. How did you learn how to make a fire? Scouts, or did your dad teach you?
I taught myself. My dad never took me camping. Well, he did, but he didn't. Okay, how do I put this delicately? Uh, how do I put this delicately? My dad was not the hands-on type of teacher. He was more of the, let me put you in the situation where you're going to learn the hard way how this works. He was a firm believer in tough teaching. And I don't say that negatively. I believe that that was the right thing. Because I had to figure it out on my own. When I was young, I had to practice. I had to figure out what tools to use. My dad would help me get the tools or get the things I asked for. But when it came to actually teaching me how to do things, like start a fire or work out with kindling, finding dry wood, digging a proper dirt pit. When it came to like these processes, my dad only gave me the rudimentary information. He's like, okay, the three things you need for fire: you need oxygen, you need fuel, and of course you need the spark. Like, he would explain stuff in the bare bones to me, but then from there let me figure out with context information how to do everything. So I taught myself how to make a fire. Dad did not do that. And I never did scouts. My childhood was scouts, as I spent a lot of time in the forest. I spent a lot of time out in the farm doing stuff outdoors. And if you live in Maine, we do have scouts, but if you grow up in a rural area like we live in, you figure this shit out on your own pretty damn quick. Or your parents teach you, but in my case, I had to figure it out. Yeah, my dad just believed very strongly in teaching how he was taught. And his dad was not there part of his childhood because military. My dad's a military brat. He's an army brat. So he grew up with a father who was there in spirit but couldn't be with him all the time. And when his dad was with him, he couldn't be. What's a delicate way to put that? He was a bit distant, obviously. Like when you spend so much of your time away from family and in combat and going through stuff, it does make you I would say a little bit, not damaged. That might be a bit demeaning or derivative. I don't know. Yeah, at the very least I gotta. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. Hopefully this works this time. Okay, so. Hopefully. Is the hemp rope really that? Oh, I might have accidentally coated it in dirt because it's not lighting.
The strands are lighting, but
Let's see if we get lucky in a second here.
you need a bigger dry piece of bark with a little carve out so the kindling doesn't just burn out. True. Ash Blackwind, of all the primitive fire starters, the most common and effective is bow drill. Another easy one is bamboo rub or bamboo rub. I don't have bamboo. I don't live anywhere near where bamboo grows.
Right now I'm hoping this hemp will actually catch. If not, I'll go find some bark. I got a little bit of a catch there, but that's mostly the hemp. I don't think that's the wood yet. No, that was just the hemp. Okay. Barking. I'm gonna try actually the dry leaf trick. If that even works.
It usually doesn't for me, but it can. In theory. How many of these leaves are? They're dry, but the problem is they're also covered in mud. I don't think it's gonna catch. What the? What's that goo? Oh, is that sap? Where the fuck did sap come from?
Did I miss something?
That was not there before. Weird. Now I'm distracted by where the hell that was not there before. I know that for a fact. The two hardest parts of a fire: starting it and stopping it. Those are the two hardest parts. Alright, so I might. some birch around here. Alright. Alright. And that's why we like birch. Nature's natural accelerant. It usually burns real good, so give that a second. I'd rather work through the fuel I've already given it before. Yeah, so if you guys ever find birch trees, now for context, for those who don't know, they're usually the white trees with like those furrow sides. If you could find those and strip off some of that like loose bark, that is really, really good, especially if it's dry. It'll light like crazy. It's nature's, I like to call it nature's natural kindling. It usually lights real good. Downside is though, is if it, well, if it's wet, it will not light at all. Some people say like that's like all wood, not necessarily. Yeah, there you go. Birch came to the rescue. Alright, let me find some more dry kindling. I'm not going far. Rule of thumb, never take your eyes off of a fire. Well, that didn't go in how I wanted. Hey, the smoke is following me. Problem is, the rest of the wood's not catching. What's the problem? The birch caught just fine, but at least I now have some birch to work with. Let me get some more dry sticks to cut up. There's something actually resembling a fire here. So we're going to pile on some wood. On top of some birch.
Now that I know where to find the birch, it's just a matter of lighting that on fire. Might be too much fuel, but we'll find out in a second. Alright. Let me check how much battery I have left on my phone here. Because I do need enough to get back to the house, which we're not doing too bad. Alright. There we go. Now hopefully that actually catches on the rest of the sticks. Now I wish I had my cast iron and some hot dogs. Damn wind's working against me. There we go. Yeah, so looks like it's properly lit this time. So I could keep feeding that and make a much bigger fire, but I think I'll stick with just a small test fire for now. Yeah, voila. Now, of course, I did use the Bic lighter. I don't normally call that cheating because nowadays, I think most campers and most people who go out and do fire making have if not a Bic lighter, a dedicated lighter. I do have the striker, which you guys did saw earlier. I did get some of the hemp lit with that, so I can get a fire started without a Bic lighter, but it's a bit more of a pain in the ass. So if any of you out there who want to like go camping, get a Bic lighter or a cheap lighter or something. Just bring one of those with you, or you can get like proper. There are like dedicated like little. I wouldn't bring them out like for a hunting trip, but you can get like this like oil that it's kind of like gasoline, where you can pour it on the fire and it's meant to help you get started a fire. You can do that. I wouldn't recommend it on a hunting trip because that can go south many ways on a hunting trip. Because hunting trips, you're usually not in a campsite. You're in the middle of like a tree line. So normally you want to stick to smaller fires when you're doing like a hunting trip. Technically speaking, I could fill this hole with a lot more timber and get that lit much more crazy, but Oh yeah, also get a prodding stick. A prodding stick in the wild is literally just a stick that you can poke into the fire and like adjust things.
At home, it'd be like a little cast iron poker. Adis Keppel, how you doing? Or steaks. Eh? Little fireside chat? Yes, literal. Yep. So yeah, if you're out on like if you like start up like your own little campsite off your property or something, you dig a hole like this. It's good to maintain it. Like I said, you can make it a more permanent fixture with adding some concrete at the base or doing some like clay type thing. But yeah, with a hole like this where I'm not doing something that fancy, all I'd have to do on the regular is once I snuff out the fire or I water it down or whatever the case may be that I do to it, I just got to make sure, obviously, that the fire goes completely out before I go anywhere. I got plenty of dirt next to me, so I'm going to smother it. Might be a little counterintuitive to, in the hole I just dug, put more dirt into it, but I'd rather be a little counterintuitive and make absolutely sure that that fire is snuffed out than take any chances. Bye. Yeah. I guess now that we're a little bit more into the stream, I guess I'll ask this question kind of like generally. But once I finish building this little shooting range I'm constructing over this way, I don't know, would you guys be curious in seeing some gun videos on the channel? Like, you just like shooting off or showing off like my firearms and stuff? I thought about expanding into that, you know, kind of been on line a little bit. That might be the fire right there. I'm gonna see if the rest of it was. Probably not. This fat one doesn't want to. That fat stick right there doesn't want to go. She's pretty much dead. Oh, hold on. She's getting new life. If people doesn't strike for it, sure. Wait, what? If YouTube doesn't strike for it, what? If YouTube doesn't strike for what? Oh, for the gun. I mean, hopefully not, but they haven't. They certainly have been anti-gun for the last couple of years. What am I doing? Right now, I just dug a hole, a fire pit, and I'm just doing a test fire in it. So, it's pretty much what you see, what you get there, buddy. I also put it in the title. We're only doing a small one, but I'm gonna smother it once it burns through the sticks it's got. Stop throwing acorns at me. It's only temporary. I ain't lighting up the neighborhood. Pan the camera? Why? What? Didn't like that angle, or what was it? Problem is that it's the only angle I can really prop it. So, I'm not sure where you want me to pan the camera. It's not really a camera, it's my phone. He wants you to be critical to the camera. Wait, he wants my face in the camera? Hi! Try going around. Around what? Around the camera? Or do you mean like... Oh, do you not let... So you don't want the campfire to be focused? I don't think the campfire is more interesting than my ugly mug. Put the camera in a pan. I don't have a pan. If you want me to like show you around, there's that rock wall over there. There's trees. Lots of trees. There's one that's fallen over there. That's birch. And it's mostly wilderness in every direction. And then of course, there's my campfire. I guess right now I'm not gonna go too far from the fire, but right around here, I don't know if I'm angling it right. Right around here is where I'm gonna build the little gun range area. As you can see, there's a lot I have to clear out. There's lots of trees, small. I don't plan on getting rid of any of the big trees. I think those will be fine. But I gotta clear out this spot that's right there where the fire pit to the side. Nice little spot for me to, come out with some buddies, go drinking, shoot, do some fun stuff. I don't know if this is a good angle or not.
Oh, someone with larger comment. Watch that. There we go.
No punch a tree to harvest wood.
Nah, I don't think Minecraft logic will work very well. Alright, I think it's good now to smother.
Nice and smothered. Have you watched Space Kings? If so, what do you make of the media literacy horse?
Oh, I have done that. I thought about making a video in response to it, but it has been funny.
That shit has been hilarious.
If you guys follow me on Twitter, I've actually been commenting and responding to those
Fucking weirdos. It has been fucking hilarious. They went okay. So step one, like when all of us were like sharing around the clip of Space Kings going, "No girls allowed," and literally within seconds, a bunch of those fucking moron like woke hammer crowd were like, actually, you know that they're making fun of you, right?" And then we started sharing around the clip of Tom and Don when they were just casually like doing a video talking about 40K, and they said like in a clip from one of their Tom and Don videos, they said blatantly, it's like, listen, if you were to add female space marines, it would just ruin it. These are monastic knights of brotherhood, you know, it would just ruin the whole thing. And they just directly said that they fully support that aspect. So by all accounts, Wokehammer would call them chuds. So when we started sharing that, and instead of responding to us, they started blocking us all over Twitter. And then on top of that cope, they said, oh, they're trying to be ironic. It's like, no, they're being frank with you. You're just a fucking moron. So when that didn't work, now they're saying, oh, Space King, it was never funny to begin with. It was fun for like 2 seconds. It was funny like 2 seconds. They're petulant little fucking children. It's hilarious to watch. Oh, smoking and drinking coffee. It would be nice, actually. I'm not really a coffee guy, but, well, I used to be. Coffee was ruined for me because when I worked for the Navy, correct. So just so everyone who doesn't know me knows, I wasn't in the Navy. I worked for the Navy. I was a civilian contractor. I have never served in the armed forces, despite trying. I worked for the Navy. But when I worked for the Navy as a designer, I had to drink coffee because otherwise you weren't going to be able to stay awake during the really long nights we were working on stuff. And there were some nights where they were like, all right, everybody in the office, we really need you guys to stay late. We can't force you, obviously, but it's good overtime. Please stay. We got to get this project done because we have a deadline coming up. And so there were long nights where we were there for till like 2, 3 a.m. And you had to drink coffee. Like, that was the only thing in the office. It was that or water. And when you're like half awake and if you brought an energy drink, you already drank it like 3 hours ago, you're like, I need something. So you went and got coffee. Problem is, the Navy guys, well, the office wasn't owned by the Navy, but a lot of like Navy vets worked in the office, as well as Army vets, weirdly enough. So they would prepare coffee, but they would never have creamer. Or if they did, it was that powdery shit. So you either had to have powdered creamer, or you had to just drink black coffee. There was sugar. There was that at least. So you could have that. All I ended up drinking was black coffee with like 2 spoonfuls of sugar. That was like it for years. And I kind of came out of it hating coffee. Like I'm at a stage now in life where I think coffee and I think misery. I think, oh my God, I hope I never have to do that again. Because that was a miserable... I only did it for 2 years, but 2 years of my life. It was horrible. Well, the workload was, but the coffee was too. It was Folgers coffee, caffeinated. There was no such thing as decaf in that office. And I tried the powdered creamer. It's just not. It's so bad. If you feel your mouth feels chalky after you fucking drink coffee with that shit in it, man. It is so bad. Oh, if I never do that again, it'd be too soon. Yeah. I doubt they needed the creamer. They had a good old time back in the day, you know. Just them and the boys and the seamen. All the seamen. Well. Yeah, that for me at 18 years old when I got hired there. Yeah, I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again. Nope. Mm-mm. Nope. Mm-mm. Not again. Granted, the other source of caffeine I tend to go with, which is soda, is way worse, but it's just... I can't do coffee, man. I could come out here, and if I bring, like, a soda or an energy drink, yeah, all the way. Bring some sandwiches, we just chill with the boys, drink some beer, shoot some... I even bought a couple targets. I want to get the metal targets as well for out here, but those are kind of pricier, so I'm going to save up for those. That'll take a bit more time, though. The Marines just took their crayons in it. Right. Just making sure it's nice and smothered. Supposed to step out of here real quick. I'm just looking for any pockets of ash. That might be a concern. I don't think so. I think it's pretty much fully smothered. So. Okay. I'll hang out here for another minute, though. Hey, Calcio. From beard to beard, nice beard. Thank you. Yeah. I actually thought about shaving it about a month ago. Because my girlfriend's never seen me without a beard, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll show her what I look like. But to be quite frank, I haven't shaved since I was 18. Actually, no. Says last time I fully shaved my face, I was like 16, actually. So I have not been beardless since I was 18. And I haven't had I've had nothing but like a decently length to long beard I've had for the last 4 years. For context, I just turned 26 like 3 days ago. Actually, no, not 3 days ago. God damn, it's been a week already. Fuck. That's right, it's Wednesday. No, so a week from like today, last week, I turned 26. So I haven't shaved my face in almost a decade. It feels surreal to say, I'm not gonna lie. Jeez. It is nice just being out and about, though. Yeah, I can't wait till I get like that full range built, and I'll come out here probably semi-regularly just to do some test fires. Well, test fires and then test fire. Two very different types. You shaved yourself bald a few weeks back? So just the top of your head or like the whole shebang? To shadow or short hair? Nah, not me. I want a long beard, but the only reason I trim it is just to keep it uniform. It's the only reason I trim it. You can see the appeal. Have an extra napkin whenever you need. I only occasionally need another napkin. It's when I have something soupy that gets in my beard. That and sauces. Like if you eat a burger, oh, burgers are the most delicious, but they're also the worst when you have a beard. I will admit that. That's like the worst thing when you have a beard is what catches in the beard, which is soups. Like soups are just horrible. Because if there's any drizzle at all off your lip, it goes right into the beard. And it trails down and you don't feel it. So you don't realize it's there. And then you see it dripping like on your pants or on like the table. It's like, ah, shit. Holdome kept the beard with mush and mush. But the head was as smooth as the coastal rocks. You didn't want to go with baby's bottom? Nah, I've shaved my head before. Couple times actually. I think I looked okay, but I don't know. I definitely prefer having some kind of hair on my head. I'll probably I don't know. Like my grandfather on my deceased father's side, he still had like he's in his 90s and he has decent hair. So, is that I don't know. Genetically, I think I'm predisposed to have hair for a long time. But that being said, I do think my hairline is receding a little bit. So I might have inherited well, no, even my grandfather on my mom's side, he's got gray hair. My mom, though, has thinning hair, I will say. So I might have gotten that from her. I'm not sure. You would have thought ribs would be a nightmare. Well, ribs can be, But usually it's in the mustache area, like right here. Like when you're eating ribs, like right here is really bad. But the best part is you can easily get, like, if you have just a mustache, that is so easy to clean. You don't need, like, you can even lick it off depending on how short the beard is. So beard is actually like manageable. It's when it gets stuck in this bit, you know, you can't go, like you can't. And also you feel it when it hits your beard because it's right next to your lip. So you feel when your beard's getting sticky with like barbecue sauce and stuff. It's this that's a nightmare. And when I'm eating ribs, I've never had a problem with it falling in here. Either because sometimes I'll like grab bits off of it and eat it like that, or if I do eat it old school style, if I do that, I kind of pull it off to the side as I'm stripping meat off of it, so that it'll only hit my mustache area. So generally, I'm fine with ribs. Wings, I don't eat like wings like that too often these days. Normally, if I have chicken, it's like a chicken sandwich that I make at home, grilled chicken, also made at home, or I occasionally will get like chicken tenders or nuggets if I'm hankering for something and I'm in the middle of town. I'll stop at a fast food place. Usually Wendy's, but you know, I'll settle for McDonald's, and if I have no other options, I'll do Burger King. Not that I hate Burger King, it's just like, you know. Mustache, indeed. Mustache. Hey, caramba, mustache. Deep house nearby we need it for a reason? Yeah. Yeah, this is the big pain in the ass. This right here. Alright. That's definitely smothered now, but one last thing just to be sure. We will do a coating of water. And I'm also going to apply it to all the outside area here. It's a bit paranoid of me, but I'd rather be paranoid than end up like California. But yeah, we more or less got a fire pit set. I guess I'll take that off the tripod real quick. Oop. So yeah, I guess I'll switch camera view so I can show you as I show you. So yeah, right here is where I'm gonna build like range. I got kind of a semi-clear trail, kind of. It's well, there's been some logging that's been done here, obviously. But I don't think in a long while, because I don't see any. Outside of the trail being semi-clear, there's really nothing else. So it's a decently vacant spot. It's on our property, so I can use it. I've already got permission from the big man. So yeah, we're gonna build right here. The upside is it's hard to tell on camera, because unfortunately the camera doesn't capture depth too well. But right down this way is downhill, and then that's uphill right there. You can see on camera. So that means if I shoot from right here, I'm shooting through a target into a dirt mound, which is the hill right there. I think I'm also going to add like a little bit more dirt, an intentional man-made dirt wall towards the top of the hill there, just to be absolutely sure that when we fire rounds downrange, nothing is going where we don't know where it's going. So that, and I got to clear out all this foliage, which I'm going to have to rake a lot of it. I think I'm going to leave that stump. I might actually smooth this stump out to kind of turn into a little like perch platform. That way I can take my rifle right there and I can use this as a prop for the gun.
rather than have to bring a white fold-out table all the way out here. But yeah, there's plenty of brush I gotta clear, some dead trees I gotta move. But I think it'll be worth it, because it'll be nice to have this little private spot, come out here, shoot once in a while, take my buddies, drink a bit. You know, be men. Be merry men. We're men in tights. I like it. Plus, again, it'll be easy to find, because I've marked the path with some lumber tape. For those who don't know what that is, it's like a little, it's kind of like electrical tape. Kind of. It's a little bit more loose. You tie it around trees. It's orange. I have, it's hard to see, but there's a couple along that path. It is a bit of a trek in the woods, I will say. I'm probably going to see about borrowing some ATVs to make the trip here faster when I bring people out here. I don't mind hiking out to this spot on my own. Because, well, it's good exercise plus practice. Looking for fights. Big man, God? No, the big man in my earthly kingdom, that'd be the landowner, my father. So I got permission there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to... I actually don't know how long it took me to hike here. Because I kind of... You know when you put your earbuds in, you just kind of zone out? I zoned out till I got to this spot. I think I'm about an hour and some change... Maybe an hour 15, I think, from the tree line. Like, exiting the forest. So I'm about an hour into the forest. Which is why I was surprised I had signal. I think that's because there's a cell tower nearby. I can't hear any traffic, so I know I'm not near any kind of road service. But yeah. So I'm about an hour 15, something like that, into the woods. Yeah. Oh, and I guess now that I'm mobile with a camera, I'll do a... Yeah, that was the tripod it was on. So that's the hole from more than the angle you guys had it at. And I'll dig out those sticks later. I may have like smothered them with the dirt and coated them with water, but again, being safely paranoid, I'm gonna leave them down there in the dirt until next time I come, and then I'm just gonna pluck them out, put them in a little pile. Then obviously I gotta redig the dirt I threw in there, which I don't mind. Again, I'd rather smother safely a fire than have to worry about otherwise. Hoo-yah! I suppose. What time is it? Oh, damn. I've been out here that long? Fuck. It's 3 o'clock. Well, I guess I've been live streaming for 2 hours, so that makes sense, I guess. That feels so weird to me. Yeah, that is just strange. Okay, I'm old. I lost track of time. Well, I took today off work anyway, so. Damn. Okay. Well, the sun is plenty in the air. I guess I'll start heading back. But thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I didn't realize I kept y'all occupied here for almost, well, a little over 2 hours. But hope you guys like the little hangout. I'll be back at it with some stuff soon. So keep an eye on the Warglaive channel, because again, today or tomorrow I'll be releasing the first audiobook segment of the first book. Technically, it's chapter 2, but the reason I went with chapter 2 rather than the prologue or chapter 1 is because chapter 2 can serve as almost a short story on its own. It is involved in the greater story, but it is self-contained in its own way, so it kind of fits as like a starter introduction of a story. So that's why I went with chapter 2. But anyway, love you guys. Take care, and I'll pack up, I guess.